By the time he's done making the eye patch, his Rick has become drunk. So evil Morty takes advantage of this and hijacks control of him, then installs the tech to remote control him into his brain. Rick's control over him tired him out, so he decided to be the one in control now. Right after this, we see him take Rick to a Morty adoption agency on the Citadel, but this Rick now has a scar on his mouth. Interesting. Because the Rick which he took control of didn't have this scar. Now you could say that the scar came from evil Morty installing the device into him. But why would that cause a mouth scar, considering that the device was installed into his brain and not around his mouth? If anything, you'd expect him to have scarring on his head. Could this mean that he's controlled more than one Rick, and evil Rick is a different Rick than the one we saw him get drunk? Potentially, and I'll get into that more very soon. While at the Morty adoption agency, the Rick at the front desk says this to evil Morty.
An eye patch? You know how we feel about pirates.
This is a reference to Season 3, Episode 10, titled The Rick Churian Morty Date, where Rick C-137 reveals that he's scared of pirates.
Stand down. He's not afraid of pirates.
Oh, Red Morty! That part was true!
Wow, even the very device evil Morty uses to take revenge on Rick is purposely trying to scare him. After ending the desk clerk's life, as well as a police officer Rick who comes to help, evil Morty hacks into the computer system of the adoption agency and deletes his file from their records. This is a major step towards a more free life for himself, as he most likely does this so no more Ricks can keep adopting him and treating him poorly, because he's already had more than one Rick treat him poorly. As well, an interesting thing to take note of is that in the picture on his file, he appears to be sad and frowning, unlike the other Mortys who are smiling. He really is different from the rest, and he's definitely been sick of Rick for a while now. After deleting his file, he begins traveling to different dimensions and ending the lives of a bunch of Ricks, as well as stealing their Mortys. These Ricks are the same ones which the Citadel blamed Rick C-137 for killing. And this is also how he got some of the Mortys which were imprisoned at the evil lair in Season 1 Episode 10. While evil Morty is back at the lair after this, evil Rick tries to end himself because he has become trapped in his own body and is helpless to the power which evil Morty has over him. But his efforts are worthless. So this is why he was happy when the rebelling Mortys ended him earlier. Wow. It's clear evil Morty was very broken to go far enough to do all of this, but it would seem his killing of Ricks isn't necessarily completely just for revenge. As every Rick which he killed, he also scanned the brain of and stole their knowledge. But what would he even need all of this knowledge for? Well, he would need it for a grand plan of his, one that would shatter the very structure of reality itself and provide him a life free from Rick's manipulation and mistreatment. The next steps of this grand plan begin while at the Citadel, after he leaves the evil lair with the multiple Mortys on spaceships. While undercover as a regular Morty, he sees a newspaper in the streets of the Citadel advertising the first ever Citadel election, so he decides to run for president.